Hello, thank you for coming to another Q&A for the San Francisco Indie Film Festival, Short Film Festival 2025. This is the closing night program of the San Francisco Short Festival 2025. We have the filmmakers here with us. Thank you, filmmakers, for coming. Hello, filmmakers.
Hi, hello, hello.
I am Jason Wallace, one of the programmers here at SF Shorts Film Festival. And let me go around the room and find out who we have with us. Hey, if you can tell me your name and your role of the film and the film you are associated with. Andy, I'm going to start with you, please.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. My name is Andy. I was the EP, writer, and actor for my short film Life Sport.
Wow, impressive. Well done. Thanks for being here. Bridget, hi. Would you go next, please?
Hi, I'm Bridget. I'm the writer, director, and editor of Fuck Instagram, also known as Fig.
Wow, okay. You guys have lots of time on your hands. Uh, John Paulo, you're next, please.
Hi, how's it going? Name's John Paulo, also known as GP. I was the cinematographer for Fig, aka Fuck Instagram.
All right. Love that film. I agree. F Instagram. Cameo, please, next.
Hey, I'm Cameo Wood. I am the director and executive producer of The Clock and Savario, actually, with Ellen.
No way.
EP of Savario. She's the director of
Wow,
Savario.
we didn't know that. Maybe we did, maybe we should, but didn't plan it that way. That's very cool. Hey, Jonathan. Oh, well, no, let's go to Ellen next because you're part of that film.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ellen Ensui, writer, director, co-producer of Severio, executive produced by Cameo Wood.
That's great. So coincidental. And last but not least, Jonathan, please introduce yourself.
I'm Jonathan Corey Williams. I am the writer, director, and producer of Burden of Representation.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to all of you. Well done. Great films. We love them. Jonathan, since the camera's on you on my computer, how'd your film come to be? Why'd you make it? How'd it start? Inspiration?
Um, well, the inspiration obviously is, as a black man in America, I deal with police brutality on a almost daily basis, as it affects my like well-being. And so I wanted to show and write a film that showed the trauma that, black people and all people have to deal with when facing police brutality.
Right on. Thank you. Cameo, how about for The Clock? Same question.
Yeah, so I was chatting with someone on the internet about screenplays, Yelena War, and she said, I have a screenplay. I liked your last film. Would you like to make this one? And I thought, yeah, let's do it. And we happened to get a super great cast, and it was just right time to make a movie. So we did.
Well, what was your last film?
So I made a film called Real Artists. That was my first film. It did super well. We won an Emmy, and it was great. We shot it in Oakland, and so yeah, I was looking forward to making another one.
So then if I have a decent script, I can just reach out to you and say, hey, help me make my movie.
That's what Ellen did. Worked out for her. You should ask her.
Wait. Okay, let's ask Ellen. A couple questions. How did it come to be, and how did your partnership with Cameo work out?
Yeah, so my short film Severio shines a light on a lesser known form of elder abuse called granny dumping. And I was inspired because I witnessed something like that. I saw a senior citizen being left in front of a supermarket. So I wrote a screenplay about it, and then years later, I decided to shoot it, and I changed it quite a bit from the original screenplay. I wanted it to be funny, if in order to take the audience by surprise, kind of gut punch them at the end. So in this short film, a young, very ambitious influencer is on her way to a big networking party, and she makes a quick stop at a convenience store. When she gets back in her car, an old man has been abandoned in the front seat.
Yeah.
And there begins
Well,
the
hey, a
journey.
reminder, most people have seen your movie after watching this Q&A, so they're aware of that. And so did it take you that long to write the script? Did it kind of have to gestate or kind of work out? I mean, you said several years since you saw that incident.
It took me very little time to write the script, but then I stuck it away in a drawer for about 10 years. And when we were dealing with caregiving for my dad, I realized that we had resources and it was still very challenging. And I wondered, how do people without resources do this? And then I remembered, oh, they don't. And so I realized it was time to get that story out there and shine a light on this.
Glad you did. Yeah. Andy, same question, please.
Yeah, so I happen to be a real life emergency doctor at Stanford, and in the film, I play an emergency doctor and how I sort of navigate the emotional toll of taking care of sick and dying patients while also trying to teach medical students how to be empathetic and compassionate. And the film really highlights the problem of burnout and moral injury in the field because 1 in 2 emergency doctors are burned out, and that directly impacts patient care, and studies show this. And I was actually partially inspired by a very tough case I had where, a colleague of mine committed suicide and really just wanted to shed light on this issue. And fortunately, this film is actually going to be sort of a national campaign to raise awareness about this issue and also create a national curriculum to prepare medical students, doctors just around the country.
Not to go on a tangent, have you seen The Pit? I think they got wind of your short film or your script.
I love The Pit. I've actually met Noah Wiley and Mel Herbert, one of the writers, and so I'm a big fan.
Share your short with them if you can.
100%.
Yeah. Bridget, go next, please. What started you on this film project?
So for me, I went through a really rough friendship breakup about 2 years ago, and I always wondered what it would be like if I ran into them in real life years later. How would we react? And so I wanted to write a film that captured all that what ifs and all that wondering. And I wanted to call it Fuck Instagram because I feel like in my generation, Instagram oddly plays a big role in the beginning and ending of friendships.
Huh.
And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that in my film as well.
Excellent. And John Paulo, how'd you get associated with Bridget?
Oh man. Well, I think I just have a very close-knit group that I'm very much supported by. And also I think the nature of being an artist in the Bay Area, it kind of becomes like one of those things where you know one person and then you're going to be 1 degree away from the other person. And I think Bridget was always that 1 degree away, and then met a couple of years ago, unofficially, but then officially started working together last year. And that's
On F Instagram or on the other projects?
I think F Instagram was the first official project where we worked together and where we were hip to hip for a couple months. And
Did Bridget approach you? Bridget, did you seek John Paulo out for
I
DP?
did. We were hanging out, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I had the short film working on. I need a DP." And he was like, "Wait, let me DP." And I was like, "Okay." And I've been a big fan of his work for a while, so I was super excited for the collaboration.
Cool.
yeah.
Let's talk about crews and maybe challenges of filmmaking. Jonathan, where'd you get your crew from? Locally, and any challenges making your film?
Yes, to both of those. So I would have to give a big shout out to Gabby. She could have been here. She will be there at the premiere. But Gabby, you've been amazing with finding crew for me. She was able to find the DP, actors, a lot of the crew members, and I found her via just a post on Facebook,
Yeah,
or not Facebook.
social media.
It was I'm blanking on the sort, but it's like one of the actor access, one of those. I'm blanking. Backstage.
Ah, yes.
So yeah,
Cool.
shout out to Gabby.
Right on. And any challenges for any of you? Cameo, what kind of challenges on the clock? I mean, big actors. How'd you pull them in?
Yeah, so I was originally planning to shoot the clock 2023, and as we all remember, I don't know when you all shot, but we that's when the SAG strike happened. And so instead of shooting my film in July or August, I now had to wait. And then when the strike was over, I emailed the two biggest stars that I could think of in these roles that I wanted to see, and that was CCH Pounder, who was in The Shield. She's been in all these, like, she's in Avatar as the Na'vi mother. Anyway, and I emailed her and she said, "Yep, I'm in." And I was like, "Whoa." And then I emailed Wallace Shawn, who's from Princess Bride, and he said, "I love CCH Pounder. She's amazing. I want to work with her. Yeah, I'm in your movie." And that was easy. But I only
Wow.
had like a month to prep, and that was sort of the trade-off. So we went and we shot it, and then we also had a scene with a dog, and amazingly, the dog was perfect and nailed everything on the first take. So I've been joking in my Q&As that now I'm only going to be working with A-list actors and dogs, and that's my future. So recommend it to everyone, no
Yeah,
problems.
right. That's a good plan. I like that approach. Yeah. Well, speaking of acting, Andy, you acted in your own role. Good job, by the way. First time acting, and how'd you pull in these decent performances wearing multiple hats? And is this your first film?
This is my first film, and let me tell you, acting is the hardest thing I've ever done. So shout out to all of you guys in the entertainment world. I'm not going to quit my day job. I'll tell you that much. And big shout out to it's just my producer, who's my best friend, Bonnie Kim. Really, the powers in the people, and she happens to be an exceptionally talented producer with ties in the LA area, and so she was able to get a crew together because God knows I wouldn't know where to start. So thankfully, she made it much easier than it would have
And
been.
I would almost say, like, as advice for a first-time filmmaker, don't make, no effects, no explosions, no little kids, no animals, no hospital movies, no surgeries. I probably wouldn't do that on a first film either.
And yet we did some of those things. Challenge accepted. But I
And
have a lot to learn from Cameo for sure.
and how'd it go with being director actor?
Yeah, so our director was Jamin Tolbert, so talented. As an actor, he was very helpful in sort of guiding me because I did not know the lingo, and I thought the only thing that I knew was, cut and act. So he was very patient, and I was able to get up to speed thanks to his guidance.
Right on. Good. Uh, and then Bridget, how about you? Very believable, endearing performances. The two leads are fantastic together. It's almost like they did date.
Thank you. In terms of my crew, honestly, I asked like a bunch of my friends, and luckily GP also had a bunch of friends who were down to work on the project. And then in terms of my lead actors, one of them I was already friends with, and I've been wanting to work with her for a while. And she became my casting director to just find the other lead. And yeah, it was a really smooth process with her and GP helping me out with filling in the rest of the crew.
Yeah, but talk about your interaction with directing those two performers. I mean, did you have a good rapport, a shorthand? I mean, they really committed.
Yeah, I think in the beginning I was definitely very nervous. This is like my first big short film that I've done. But I had a really good friend tell me that if the story comes from the heart, I already have everything I need. And I think I just really leaned on that advice. And just working with your friends, it helps really build a really comfortable environment. And working with the two women, like they were really great, super dedicated, and I told them a lot about the backstory of why I wrote the film, and I think once they understood where I was coming from, they were able to like um, really access this point of performance that I was really looking for. And yeah, it was super collaborative, and I had a really great experience working with them.
Since we're on that film, John Paul, you want to add anything about acting and seeing it through the lens?
Mm,
Shooting the actors, the performances, can you just tell like the chemistry's there? This is looking good. The actors are doing well.
yeah, I know that that Mayhaw, one of the leads, they had a lot of previous acting experience, and they really helped the other lead just get really comfortable in getting the chemistry right. And I think it made my job a lot easier, you know what I mean? Like I think we all know that like you can set up the perfect shot and you can make everything look good on the technical side of things, but if the acting isn't there, then the acting isn't there. But they basically filled in that portion entirely, and then it was all on me after that. So, yeah, it was very smooth for me. And
Before I get to you on and GP, what about inside the car shots? Right, you had inside car shots.
Mhm. Indeed.
How hard was that? What kind of challenge? You just have a smaller camera. I mean, were they actually moving? Talk just a little bit about getting those shots, like two shots in the back seat, right, when they're in Lyft or Uber or something.
Yeah, that was an interesting shot to set up because we had to set it up on the middle console. So we had baby sticks, and then we basically ratchet strapped the camera to, I believe, both the driver and the passenger side. It was a really interesting rig because we still wanted to introduce some movement to the shot, not have it be completely static, but in a way where it's like the movement isn't too jarring, because I mean the wide shot of them two together, it's long. It's a couple minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
well done.
yeah, the subtle movement was really intentional, and like I wanted to make sure that like it wasn't too boring, but also not too crazy at the same time.
Well done. There's too many car shots, especially on more beginning filmmakers or short films, where it takes you out because you feel the camera there. You know what I mean? You feel like the camera's in the car or something like that.
Right, right.
Or you're congested, you're claustrophobic. Anyways, good job on that shot. Ellen, what about your actors are fantastic. Who's your lead actress? She's wonderful. I'm in love with her.
Yeah, Quincy Cho. She's a rising star. She's also a triple threat
I'm in love
writer.
with the comedic element she brought. I loved. She was just so funny.
Yeah, that was the reason I cast her. She's an accomplished improv actor as well. And we did a reading of it, a staged reading of it. And because she brought the funny on, I knew I had to have her. But we were also in a writers group together. That's how I originally met her. I had never seen her acting before, but I had her audition and do the reading, and she's amazing. And Roberto,
Go ahead.
well, Roberto Medina, he's from Mexico City. He had a pretty big career in Mexico City, but he was in some films you recognize, Frida, Amordos Perros. But we actually went to graduate school together for acting many, many, many years ago. He was an older student. I like to say that he was older than me. Um, and yeah, I was just having coffee with him, and I said, "Hey, any chance you can play really old?" And that was that.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And yeah.
And what do you think was a biggest challenge for you, Ellen, on making the movie? Was it,
Yeah.
you bring it to life,
Well,
or was it in production, or?
Well, it was in production. Well, first I want to give props to Cameo, who executive produced and who brought me to the Bay Area to shoot this film. Originally, we were going to do it in Los Angeles, but Cameo's one of her mandates is uplifting women and filmmakers of color in the Bay Area, and suggested we
Two
should.
things. Yeah, right on. Cameo, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of love in the room here. Where did you guys film in the Bay Area? I didn't recognize the location.
Yeah, Hayward and Portola Valley was where the house was. And so Cameo is responsible, her company, and my producer, Connie Jo Sechrist, who comes from Cameo's company, helped me crew up. And they were terrific, fantastic crew. But one of the challenges we had was shooting outdoors. I was excited about shooting in July in San Francisco area because I had always heard that the coldest winter you can spend is the summer in San Francisco. However, it was July and we were outdoors on a blacktop, and it was, about 90 degrees that day. So we had many, many challenges shooting all the scenes at the convenience store. And it was our first day of shooting, and boy, that was tough. So,
Jonathan, I don't think you answered what the biggest challenge was for you. What was the hardest thing about making your movie?
I think it just not knowing for me, honestly, because it was my first film. I come from an acting improv background, so I was always just being like, pampered on set, getting at crafty, not really paying attention. So when I really got focused and was like, I'm gonna write, produce, and direct this, random things just started flying my way. And it was just the process. And I'm very thankful for it though, because I've learned so much. And I did it, all myself. I didn't
Right.
cheat or do any shortcuts. So I'm
Yeah,
very
it seems like there's no better experience than doing, right? Than actually the experience. There's no better teacher. And do you think your kind of background helped you be a better director? Communicating with the actors.
I do. I think it gave for Michael Grayson, the second, specifically the protagonist, that scene where he hits the mirror is very emotional, and I had to have a couple conversations with him, and it was one of those things where, we both as Black men aren't vulnerable, especially to each other all the time, and that was a moment where we both let our guard down in the bathroom, and we were able to connect right before that scene.
Did casting play a huge part in getting these great performances? Did Did you find them easy? Did you already have them cast? Like, how did you come to make
So
that
that was one of the
collaboration?
challenges we had was casting, and honestly, it was for me, it was hard to find the right person to play Xavier, and I almost thought about playing Xavier, and I had a conversation with Gabby, and we kind of talked me down that ledge, just just because had a lot of things going on.
Yeah, you
I
should have
was
talked to Andy, or Andy should have talked to you. You guys could have been like, wait a minute, it's a lot of work for a first film.
I didn't want to, there's crazy people like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like I don't want to. I'm not them. I'm not Spike. So I wanted to just really focus on.
Or you go get Cameo on board, and she just calls and they say yes right away.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Let's do it. But now that I know, yeah, that was a huge challenge. The actors.
So since I'm on you, Jonathan, and this is for everybody, what's the biggest takeaway after finishing this first film for you? What's the most memorable thing that happened to you, or something you learned about yourself, about filmmaking? What's the biggest takeaway?
Off the top of my head, I gotta say magic. Coming from theater, I have experienced the magic of the theater, but I never experienced like creating something and having it live and seeing the collaboration take it to another level of something that I never even thought it could be.
Have you seen it on a big screen yet?
No. So
Oh wait, oh you wait.
I'm not crying.
That's a moving experience. Andy, takeaway for you.
Yeah, I would say the film was a catharsis, Jason. There's nothing that I can describe the emotional toll of saving someone's life or losing someone. And I don't want to scare you guys, but our healthcare system is broken, right? It's eroding the trust that patients have in their doctors. It's eroding our morale. And we need to get the message out there that we need to do something about it before it's too late. And I think the film really inspired myself and many other doctors, to pursue a campaign to address this issue now.
Right on. Bridget, GP, takeaways from making Fuck Instagram, besides screw Instagram.
Unfortunately, I still use Instagram, but to help promote the film and in personal use. But I think one main takeaway for me was just the importance of having the right people around you. I think working on a project for so long, I come from a poetry background. So like after I write a poem, it'll take me like a month max. I perform it and then I'm on to the next thing. But working on a film takes months, years, and there were so many moments where I would get tired of looking at my own script or looking at a cut. And being on set, there were so many moments where like I doubted myself, but I think having the right people around me, and an environment that really supported me and pushed me just helped me find again and again different reasons why I wanted to make the film. Um, and it just made everything so much more fun. First of all, I think that's the most important part of filmmaking. Like if it's not fun, why are you doing it? And also just I think that trust and that support was something that really helped in those moments of doubt and in those moments where I wasn't feeling inspired by my own work anymore.
There's some great advice in this Q&A for filmmakers, future filmmakers. John Paulo, takeaway.
Yeah, I think for me, something that really stuck out when making FIG, it was like I feel like I knew it already, but it really reinforced it. It was if you wanted to be a part of the village, you have to be a villager. You have to be someone that's willing to carry the weight of everyone else on your crew. You have to be willing to do your part. You have to be willing to contribute more than yourself, more to the vision, more to the hard work and effort that everyone's putting in, and you have to create an equal part. And when putting in all that hard work, it's really easy to feel transactional. It's really easy to feel like, oh, I'm going to get something out of this. But if you become more unconditional to it, and if you allow yourself to do it for the love of the game, do it for the love of film, then I think people will see through that and then will give back to you tenfold. So I believe in good karma in film.
Yeah, right on. Pretty deep there. Right on. Ellen, you want to go next? Takeaway, memory?
Yeah, I think I come from a theater background, which is very collaborative, and film similarly. And I was very committed to making sure everyone had a voice on the film. So from the very beginning, I said, if you see something, say something. Interrupt me. Stop if whatever it is. And I think that proved to be, instrumental in the success, because we only shot in 3 days. It was a lot to get in, and I think that also helped create a very empowered crew. We all felt like we did it together.
And I'm just kind of seeing, maybe realizing like a connecting theme here, maybe unintentional. It's just a lot of these films, inspirations, and content is, like most art, based on real life experiences. A lot of close connections to you guys as filmmakers. Yeah, well said, Ellen. Cameo, what's your takeaway from this achievement?
First of all, congratulations to all my fellow filmmakers. It is so hard to make a movie, and we all did it. And we're also telling stories that are hard to tell. Listening to all of you, I'm so inspired by, I think we're all addressing these issues that we see in society, and we're trying to translate these issues in an empathetic way for other people. And that's the whole game. And I think that, for my film, the thing that was most inspiring to me about the original story was, so I had a professor, Mary Oliver, who's a poet. Bridget, shout out to you. And she had this poem where the final line is, tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. And I think that, it's making these films that we hope touch people and help us interpret the world around us with new perspective. And I think that, I hope my film does that. I'm sure all of your films are doing that. That's why we're here. And I think that that's incredibly exciting to be part of the kinds of stories that, we're no longer telling around a campfire, but that instead we're telling in front of a movie screen, or people watching at home in front of their laptops. Anyway, I think that we're all in the right place, doing the right thing, touching the right people, and I'm so excited to do it with you. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you, and you ended this with a perfect segue. Thank you to you guys. You touched us here at SF Shorts Fest, SF Indie Fest, and congratulations on your achievement. Thank you for not only sharing with us, but making them. Well done. Thanks, guys. That's all the time we have. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching this Q&A, SF Shorts Festival, the closing night program. Check out more great films at sfindie.com, and thank you for supporting independent cinema. Bye, filmmakers. Bye, everybody.